What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out. Now, it's Monday, July 10th. I'm super geared up for the potential TOHO news coming tomorrow that they've been alluding to. Got the little calendar thing where the slots for every single Godzilla movie has been filled in. And today, 1954 has been filled in. There's one slot left. Pretty please. Let's see something from Godzilla Zero. Let's get an announcement. We'll get into that. We're also going to talk about, the Deadpool 3 image that had Hugh Jackman as Wolverine gasp in the yellow suit. Astonishing it was. We'll get into that also. So, yeah. And also, excuse me. And also, we're going to talk about real quick potential spoiler in regards to Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. Apparently, there was a toy leak, and we got a couple of images supposedly, for a couple of new creatures. We'll talk about that too. But first and foremost, you know how we do when we do the Geek Out. I gotta start with the box office because it is blockbuster season. And, Hollywood, this is where Hollywood needs to, shine. Or at least back in the days, it used to shine. But lately, it just hasn't. Since The Flash dropped at 55 million, and then the week after, Indiana Jones at 60 million. Two complete flops, and they both fell off hard after their initial release. So let's talk real quick about it. Coming in number one this past weekend was Insidious: The Red Door, which made only $32 million. $32,650,000 to be exact. That's, I guess that's good for that movie. I never seen an Insidious movie. The trailers always had me intrigued. I don't know why I've never watched them. I just never did. But Indiana Jones with the $26,500,000 take in its second week is a 56% drop off from week one. So, it's just goes to show these movies, we think they're going to be great, especially a franchise like Indiana Jones. Basically Flashpoint for the, Snyderverse, and then they turn out to be not so good in flops, so it's crazy. But it's still doing good. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, still doing good, so that's props. Actually, it's crazy. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has just crossed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 domestically as the best superhero movie this year. That's only domestically, because worldwide, Guardians of the Galaxy is still sitting pretty at number 2, right behind Super Mario Brothers, the movie, which, holy crap, that movie continues to make money. It doesn't make sense, for the love of Christmas. But I digress. Excuse me again. I gotta take a little sip of water here. I digress. That's it. I mean, there's not much to talk about the box office. Everything, all the big movies that for June, which was one of the biggest movie months I've ever seen, personally. We had 2 bangers. Well, one real banger, and then Transformers was a banger for me. And then 2 flops with The Flash and Indiana Jones. And I love The Flash. I did not like Indiana Jones. So, be that as it may, this week, Wednesday, Tom Cruise comes back to the theaters with Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning? And you've seen what he did last year, May, with Top Gun Maverick. I didn't think that movie was going to make any money. It revitalized Hollywood. If anybody can do it, Tommy Cruise can do it. So, here's waiting to see for that, because I'm not going to see that movie. I got a thing, I don't know why. I got a thing for movies that, it's been a franchise for so long, and apparently this is the last movie in the franchise, so they made it 2 parts. So I'm like, if this is gonna be the last, 2 parts to this franchise, I'll wait for the second part to come out Then watch Dead Reckoning Part 1. Go see Dead Reckoning Part 2 in the theaters and be done with it. So I guess I'm waiting until whenever that comes out next year. Who knows? But let's talk about something else completely still in the realm of Hollywood. Let's talk about Deadpool 3, or as I like to call it, Deadpool Kills the Multiverse. Because that's what it seems like is happening here. So earlier today, Ryan Reynolds put out on his Instagram, Twitter, wherever, a picture of him in a Deadpool suit with Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine suit. Now, Hugh Jackman does not have the mask on. Ryan Reynolds is in full gear, full Deadpool gear, head to toe, mask and everything. But for the love of everything I love, that Wolverine suit is comic book accurate, people. It looks so damn good. It looks like it's straight up from the Astonishing X-Men run. And I love it. And I love it. For those who said it couldn't be done, bam, there it is. There it is. There it is. Now I say Deadpool kills the multiverse because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like this movie is going to do. And with the tongue-in-cheek humor, or lack thereof, the in-your-face humor of Ryan Reynolds and the Deadpool franchise so far, yeah, I could totally see this being, Disney's version of Flashpoint starring Deadpool, so they can fold the mutants now into the MCU proper using Deadpool. This is my theory. That's where I'm going with it. It seems that way. Over the weekend, news came out that Jennifer Garner is reprising her role as Elektra for this movie. That's crazy. Now I want to know if they're going to reprise her role from Daredevil and maybe get Ben Affleck back, or this is just the Elektra from the Elektra movie, which is the same Elektra, but it's not a good movie. So it'll be funny to see what else comes about with all of this. Who knows? I mean, shit, I'd go crazy. I'd have Wesley Snipes reprising his role as Blade in this thing. I'd get David Hasselhoff to play Nick Fury from back in the days, like on the TV movie. I'd do all that craziness. I would. Hell, I'd even have a weird random cameo. And you probably couldn't do this, but I would do it anyway because you know what? Ryan Reynolds is the type of person to do it and say, fuck it. He did it in the intro to one of the other Deadpools, I think Deadpool 1, where he had the Green Lantern pop up, and that was funny. But I would totally put like the 70s or the 60s or 70s TV version of Spider-Man in the movie, just to mess with people. So it looks like it's gonna be a romp. I don't know. I'll be honest, not really a big Deadpool fan. From the comics, I just didn't care about this dude, the whole Merc with the mouth thing. It's all right. It's, it just wasn't my thing. I remember the first time I saw Daredevil was like, I want to say X-Force number 19, number 20, in between, in that area. But it was the 90s X-Force, Volume 1, where Rob Liefeld, went from the New Mutants to X-Force with Cable and the crew. And I loved it. That was like my favorite thing. But on art at that time was Greg Capullo, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but I think it was Greg Capullo. If it wasn't him, it was Mark Bagley, but it was somebody. It wasn't Liefeld doing it when I first saw Deadpool. But the movies themselves, I did enjoy Deadpool 1. I own it. I laughed a lot with that movie. Deadpool 2, I only seen it that one time in the theaters. I should give it a rewatch. But I really wasn't feeling that movie too much. But this one, I mean, look, you got Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. I want to see if they make fun of the end of Logan or anything like that. This Wolverine doesn't look like Logan from the end of Logan. He doesn't look like old man Logan. He looks like a younger version of Wolverine. So alternate universes, everything is being played with. Will Doctor Strange pop up? Who knows? Let's get some Marvel Zombies in there. Oh yeah, that's it. That was the one Deadpool book I did enjoy. I can't lie. Night of the Living Deadpool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love that the book was black and white, and I think Deadpool was the only thing in color. It was such a great thing. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But outside of that, yeah, Hugh Jackman looks good. I'm pretty sure they're going to have the mask. I mean, they would have to, right? Right? It's Ryan Reynolds. He'd do something crazy like that. They have to do it. They would have to. So, I don't know. that's that. We shall see. Hopefully, we get some, news, or, maybe more casting news. See what happens, or if they're just keeping everything for Easter eggs. I'm down. We'll see. We'll see. But let's not talk about that. And let's dedicate a block now to Godzilla, as if we don't do that enough with the Godzilla block party. But I want to talk. I'm going solo here, so I'm going to talk some stuff. First and foremost, let's talk about these toy leaks. So as I pull them up on my phone real quick, these toy leaks are, and I don't know if these are real or not, but this morning, Brother Chase, who is my right hand when it comes to Godzilla on the G Show, sent a message in the chat and said, beware, there are toy leaks apparently, potential spoilers. Okay, so Brother JR is like, hey man, where's the link? Never mind, I got it. And he went and did his own thing. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, what could be potentially spoiler? We already know that there's another ape. We've seen it in that teaser trailer. So if anything, they're probably showing that. Maybe something else, maybe something new, I don't know. And usually I don't go and look for these things, but today I was feeling a little froggy. I said, you know what, I'm going to go and do it. So I looked, and I found, and again, I don't know how true this is, but I found a couple of pictures where they show this red orangutan ape. These are the Playmates figures, by the way. Apparently there's a toy fair, or somebody got a photo somewhere, somehow. But the link I asked JR to send me only had a picture of Godzilla in a package, a picture of Kong in a package, and then a picture of one of the new kaiju. Now that kaiju, which isn't the ape, was also in the images I seen, which were clear as day images taken on what looks like a blue seat. And I mean, it's clear as day. They definitely look like not prototypes, like they are the real deal things that's going to be sold there out of the packaging. And I just got to say, the monkey, the orangutan, the red ape, whatever you want to call this thing, is weird looking, but it's Playmates. It's not a fully articulated, detailed figure. But this thing looks weird. Its mouth is huge. It's from the pictures I'm looking at. I'm not gonna put them up on a thumbnail just in case anybody doesn't want to be spoiled. I'm not gonna do that. But you can find them. You just type in Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire toy leaks, and you'll find them. But yeah, he looks weird. He's holding a staff. There's a skeleton. I don't know what it looks. Honestly, it looks like a giant ox skull. And then at the tip of the staff is the spear, which is a piece of Godzilla's spine, just like Kong's axe. So I was like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. Can't be mad at that. The other creature, which is on 4 legs, a quadruped, this thing it looks crazy. It looks crazy. I don't know how to describe. I do know how to describe it. It just hit me. The face reminds me of, if y'all ever seen Willow, the original 80s movie Willow, the George Lucas, Ron Howard, that whole fantasy movie with Warwick Davis as young Willow going on a journey to find a sacred land for a baby. I forgot, to bring a baby back somewhere. Val Kilmer's in it. It's a fun movie. I actually recently watched it because I wanted to watch the Willow show. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of the Willow show, and then I forgot all about it. But in that movie, there are these creatures. There's like a 2-headed monster or something. And that's exactly what this thing looks like, except this thing is like silver, bluish silver. But that's what this thing looks like. The face reminds me of that. It's got spikes, like a crown going across its, the back of its head. Long neck going into the body part. And then there's like I would say a shell of spikes. It kind of reminds me of like original Anguirus, the back with the spikes. Maybe not so much original Anguirus, but yeah, it's there. And it looks like its tail. Let me see if I got another picture of this thing. Yeah, and it looks like its tail is it separates at the tip. But yeah, it's a cool looking thing if this is legit. And I think it is because in the images that JR sent me, the link he sent me, you can tell that was like not supposed to be taken, like somebody holding their camera a certain way, just snapping pictures as they were walking by. That's what it looked like, at least to me. They were of poor quality, but this thing was definitely there in those images, and what I'm looking at is a much clearer shot. So, yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I don't know their names. It says Titanus Shimu, Shimu. I don't know if that's referring to the ape or to this other creature. I have no clue. But that's not for me. Like I'm happy I seen that. Like I did. Everybody kind of wants to see what this ape looks like, right? Is it gonna look like Kong? Is it gonna be an older ape? What is the deal? What is the story with this thing? Is it the king of Hollow Earth, and that's where Kong gets its moniker? Even though we talked about it previously in a Godzilla blog party. You probably can't use King Kong because Universal still owns the rights to King Kong. Fine, no problem. You say Kong, king of the underworld, Kong, king of Skull Island, stuff like that, and get away with it. But yeah, so these images, these toy images, to me they're not like legit spoilers. I'll put it like this: when GxK was coming out a couple years ago, those were spoilers. We didn't know about Mechagodzilla, so seeing Mechagodzilla as a toy leak, that's a spoiler. These are just kaiju. These are just titans. These are just other monsters. We know there's going to be monsters. The spoilers come from, is it any TOHO monsters? That's where it becomes a spoiler issue. So outside of that, I mean, I'm open, as long as there's no like TOHO kaiju, yeah, sure, I'll look at these toy leaks all day. But yeah, that's that. Apparently, Legendary is going to have a panel at Comic-Con, which I thought, for whatever dumb reason, started today. Comic-Con, I think, is, if not next week, the last week of July. So yeah, we gotta wait. But apparently Legendary is gonna have a Hall H presentation. Definitely they're gonna showcase Dune 2. That trailer looked crazy, by the way. I can't lie, and I wasn't a fan of Dune at all. It was good, but it's just not my it's not my cup of tea. But that trailer looked good. So if they do that, there's definitely got to be something for Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, and I'm all for it. I'm ready. Give me a trailer. I know. We've had this conversation on this channel so many times. Do we really need to see a trailer at Comic-Con for a movie that comes out next year? Or do we wait till around, let's say, the Super Bowl and put the trailer on? I mean, Comic-Con is a celebration for geeks. This year might be a little bit different. I don't know how many people are showing up. The last I checked, actually, there were more companies not showing up to Comic-Con than there were going to Comic-Con, which is sad. Because, Hall H back in the day, all the Marvel stuff, all the DC stuff, all the good stuff. The Godzilla stuff, there was a dope Godzilla, in 2014, there was a dope Godzilla attraction at Comic-Con. Things like that, man, that's, for me, like, I love that stuff. The Super Bowl, I watch Super Bowl regardless. So if I see cool trailers, I'm okay with that too. Awesome, perfect. But with today's day and age and everything's on YouTube, and kind of defeats the purpose, So we'll see it. It'll show up. I remember the live stream we did for the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. That was a hell of a time, and I think that was on a Sunday. But that was fun. But yeah, who knows? We'll see. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, when Comic-Con rolls around and Legendary's hanging out at Hall H, we get some juicy tidbits, maybe even another teaser trailer, something with a little more substance. Who knows? Here's hoping. And speaking of hoping, in just a couple of hours, right? In just a couple of hours, Japan will be rocking and rolling in their morning routine, doing their thing, and hopefully TOHO will be dropping some news that, they're going to drop something regardless. Like I said, you had this card countdown thing, if you will, these slots. And since Shin Godzilla they've been dropping another Godzilla poster in each slot and going in chronological order from Shin Godzilla down to today, which was Godzilla 54, the original. And there's one slot left. And so there's, no doubt in my mind that we at least see a poster. Now, what I'm hoping for is a legit poster and not that logo that we've got, even though it's a dope-ass logo, but not the logo we got in November to, basically announce this movie's coming out in a year. And all we had is the big G, that Godzilla was in the G, and it kind of looked like a zero. If you squint your eyes, it could be Godzilla Zero. I'm hoping that it's called Godzilla Zero. I really would. I love that title. I love that title. And as I said in the podcast, in the Godzilla Block Party, where we talked about all this in depth, to me, it signifies a brand new continuity. You can do whatever you want now. We're at the 0 point. We're starting from scratch. Whereas every other Godzilla movie always had 54 as their start point, this one doesn't. So this is a brand new start point. Let's get crazy. Let's get nuts. Like Michael Keaton, let's get nuts. And Toho has the opportunity to do so right now. And in a couple of hours, my fingers are crossed, my shoelaces are tied. I hope that the news is something substantial. I hope, the poster, obviously, a title, has to be a title on the poster, right? I hope it's Godzilla Zero. And hopefully, our first look at Godzilla. Now, would I love a trailer, a teaser? Absolutely. Give it to me. Give it to me. Do I think we're going to get that? I don't know. I would be content with the poster and our first look at Godzilla. I would be content with that. But the question I have is, am I getting my hopes up too high? Toho has done this before. Toho is like, we got a major announcement. It's coming. It's coming down the pipe. This day, be ready. Major announcement. And we get there and it's like, yeah, we're gonna make some Godzilla t-shirts. What? What? Now I'm being stupid there. I'm playing around, I'm messing around. But I do recall there was I don't remember when, but there was a time, and we talked about it on the podcast, where we thought we were gonna get something juicy. And we got nothing. It was a fat and nothing burger. It was like Toho playing us, like pranking us. But it made sense for Toho, for whatever they were doing. Also, I forgot about this, but also dropping this weekend, news came out. They're doing a Godzilla store, e-commerce store proper for people outside of Japan. That's great news. Because now, hopefully, when this thing opens up, I can get stuff that I need to get that I can't get from Japan, apparently. Long story short, I tried to order something. They had it in stock, but they said, hey, apparently the third-party vendor that I was buying it from, that they had to go to the store, they couldn't do it because they bought too many items from the store already. I never heard nothing like that before. I was like, what a crock of crap. I was like, all right, just give me my money back. And then I called it quits. But there are things out there that I want. And if this new e-commerce or whatever, e-store, whatever they call that stuff, has these products, I'm going to be broke. My wife is going to kick me out because I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, but I'll be playing with my damn Godzilla figures. I don't care. People be walking by, I'll be like, we'll roar for food. But I digress. So that's a cool thing coming out. I can't see that being what they're going to talk about tomorrow. That would be crazy. But it would be also in line for what they've done before. So, I don't know. Like I said, am I getting my hopes up? Or our G fans, are our hopes up too high? Are we really like, we're going to get a trailer and all this stuff? Look, at this point in time, we know it's coming out in November 3rd. We know November 3rd's a Friday, and I said this before, and I say it again, and I say it again, and I say it again. I'm trying to will this into existence. Toho, do a simulcast, a Fathom event, November 3rd, Friday, November 3rd, a Fathom event in the North America, just hell, globally if you could. So pretty much everybody could get a chance to see it. And I know that Fathom events are few and far between when it comes to like cities and states, depending on the population area, you might have to travel some to get to a theater to see that. That's unfortunate, but you know what? If you that big a fan, we do it. We get it done. We make it happen, right? Or we just wait for it to come out on VOD, DVD, and Blu-ray. But yeah, don't know what the announcement is. Guaranteed poster. I'm hoping first look at Godzilla. If there's a trailer, excellent. But honestly, I think the biggest news I honestly want is them to say, yeah, we're going to drop it November 3rd in a Fathom event. And everybody go crazy. Because again, they have said that they want to brand Godzilla worldwide more so than what it's already known as. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. Couple more hours to go. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep. I mean, I know Brother Chase is going to be on it. G73 is going to be on it because he's always on it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, that'll do it for this episode of The Geek Out. I am G1, and I'll see you next week. Peace.